Coming to you live from the place I work
unknown.
At. Yeah. This is the Every FFIV podcast. My name is Curtis.
My name is Carl Germ.
My name's Alex. Happy Labor Day, y'all.
I'm the only one courageous enough to say 4 letters of my last name to the internet.
Ooh. All I have is 4 letters. That's my entire last name.
Yeah, it's Curtis Chad, Carl Germ, and Alex Chad. They're brothers, by the way.
That's right.
My last name is actually Virgin, but here we are.
Ooh. Heir to the Virgin.
Heir to the Virgin fortune.
Tell your uncle to get out of space.
My Uncle Virgin.
Uncle Virgin.
So we're off to a good start today. What did we do last week?
We went to space.
Yeah, I guess at the end of it, yeah. Well, when we get on the airship.
I feel like we didn't go to space yet.
Well,
that's true.
At the end of the episode, we talked to Kane on the airship, and then he was like, follow me to my tower, which is in the direction of up.
Yeah, that's true. We went to space in the same way that fucking Jeff Bezos went to space, which was just like barely in orbit or whatever.
We went to
like,
wimpy baby space.
Coward's fucking pussy space.
That's right. It's a coward space. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he takes us to this place called the Tower of Zot, which like I didn't find any lore for while I was here. I was
like the etymology.
What is a Zot? Like, who is Zot? Did he build this tower?
Yeah, he's related to Sen of Sen's Fortress fame.
Oh man, could you imagine what this game would be like if it was a Sen's tower?
God,
just swinging blades everywhere.
I would hate this place so much more than I already kind of hate it.
You know what? I feel like I've done almost everything in Dark Souls, but Sen's Fortress is just one place I have not explored thoroughly because I just don't like being there.
Oh no, it's not really even worth it at all.
It's also very confusing because like we go up and then we're just in it. We don't actually see what it looks like.
Yeah,
we don't see the approach or anything. Like every other like cave or dungeon or even town, and we pretty much get to see it from the outside first, but this is just we take an elevator basically and we're there.
And I didn't know this until I think Carl told me. Maybe it was on stream or something, but you can just leave at any time.
Yeah
There's no like door or anything, but like the first tile that we appear on when we're in the tower is kind of like this little circle that's like surrounded by orbs, and like you can just step back on that and then you're just back on the world map.
It's like the teleporters in Team Rocket's hideout kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it like shows the airship going back down to Earth, but notably you can't really fly around the world in the airship because anytime you try to get back into the airship, you'll just float right back up.
Yeah.
However, if you do want to go back to Baron for whatever reason, which I didn't do, but I figured this out like later on.
If only we had some other means of
conveyance that would allow us to travel across continents. Yeah. So yeah, with the Black Chocobo, like you can still go other places, but there's not really any reason to. We've pretty much hit every single place in this world by now, almost. There's 2 more cities in this world and nothing further.
Yeah, it's surprising how like this game world is like smaller than FF1.
Yeah, because it's only the world map that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think the bridges outside of Troy are just kind of like for scenic. If like, oh, you need to come back down here and grind, here's a few more little like areas of forest you can walk around and explore.
Yeah, because there's nothing down there.
Yeah, can we talk about how Troya has 2 fucking Chocobo Forests?
That's right, they have 2.
That's why they're so, like...
lousy with bows.
Is one of them on the island?
One of them is like very south.
Yeah, there's one south.
You have to travel there, but
there's also one directly east that is halfway between the 2 like sides of the bay or whatever.
East?
Yes, basically
then
south
3.
of the. Yeah, so basically there's like is within this like quarter of the map there are 3.
Damn.
Wow.
If you go directly south from the Elf Cavern, there is one there as well.
Do they have do they all have black chocobos, or does just the north one?
I don't know about that one.
I think just the one. I think just the Chocobo what's it called? Like the village or whatever.
Right.
Choco Town.
Choco Town.
Chocoburg.
That's the one.
So anyway, I mean, not really too much to do on the overworld anymore. So
No. But at least you can come back if you need to buy like items or something. Because like this next section isn't the worst, but it can get a little dicey depending on
it's not the worst. It's not even like the worst like dungeon that we've covered on this podcast, but it is a bit of a difficulty spike. Like I found it to be. I had to go and kind of level grind a little bit just before going back in there.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to grind a little bit if you wanted to. You can go straight through it, but yeah, it can get a little rough.
Apparently, a Zot. I'm looking at the stupid the Wiktionary.
Okay.
You got etymology 1, a sound effect popularized by Usenet Oracle, a humorous internet advice service.
Okay.
Where the word was used as an irritated dismissal of a question. Etymology 2, a sound effect in the comic strip BC, first published in 1958. Associated with both 1, the rapid tongue of an anteater, and 2, lightning bolts.
Okay.
that's about. So it was either lightning bolts or just pshaw.
Pshaw.
Anteater.
Yeah, I think it's the anteater is one I'm going to go with for this.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's probably a fucking anteater enemy in this fucking place.
No hole eaters yet.
No hole eaters.
Oh, that's
notably.
true. You telling me an ant ate this tower?
We did.
So the tower's kind of like twisty and windy, and we have to climb up all the floors, and there's like a lot of little fake out paths and like doors to nowhere, or little like corridors that don't go anywhere, and so we're kind of like trying to find the right way through.
The actual like design and aesthetic of the dungeon, I guess of what it is very gold and kind of reminiscent of like dwarven technology. Like I feel like there's gears and gold and like lots of ornate detail everywhere and shiny floors some places.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between like sci-fi and ruins at the same time. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I do like it though. I think it looks good. The 3DS version looks very nice. It's very golden, but the 2D version is very like pink and like blue. It's very interesting. They changed the color palette a lot depending on which version of this game you're playing.
Yeah, there's some funky enemies around. The first thing I think I encountered was a bunch of slimes.
Like when you say a bunch of slimes, do you just mean one type or multiple types?
I only encountered the one, which was a purple one. I forgot what its deal was.
I think it was I think those are weak to fire, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of things in this tower are.
I just pretty much spammed Fyra the whole time, but
except for one enemy, which is actually absorbs fire.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is, I think, the like Adamantoise type enemy.
Right? Oh, I wouldn't even think of
like
that
the
one.
fell turtle or whatever.
Yeah. I would say the interesting thing in this dungeon is the enemies, because the encounters are like kind of varied to a point that they're interesting.
Yeah, there's some new ones.
Is it every floor they change?
Every floor, every 2 floors.
I feel like for me, every floor, like the theme kind of changed, which I thought was kind of interesting, saying like, ooh, we're going up the ranks here, because like you start noticing you're fighting like knights.
Yeah, by the end.
I kind of want to talk about that too, because I think that leaves a huge amount of conjecture that we can like put into this part. Like, so we go up and we start fighting.
It's going to be
knights.
a short episode, by the way, everybody. There's not a lot going on. So it's conjecture time.
Yeah. Now the super cool thing about it is like, there's like black knights, I think are their names, which is interesting because it's not like a dark knight like Cecil, but I don't know the difference between that, but we're actually fighting actual soldiers and shit. And on floors that we go higher up on, we're also going to be fighting, I think they're called Soldress.
Soldress?
Oh yeah, they're like, my brain is immediately like, oh, they stole soldiers of Baron for like their Black Knights. And then they stole like soldiers from Troya for like the higher up ranks.
Oh, you know what? They kind of do look like the 3D model of the soldiers in Troya.
Yeah, that's exactly what I took them for, and I was like, oh shit. So like Golbez, we already kind of know is able to, like he brainwashed Yang into fighting for him. So I think he's just been like luring people to this fucking tower or to his ranks and getting
killing them all.
Yeah, we're just killing them all. Which I think there is NPC dialogue later that kind of absolves you of any sin for that. Where they're like, I think they say something like, "All of Golbez's soldiers are not human" or something, and I was like, I don't think that's true.
What is humanity, Carl? Is it maybe you have to earn it?
There was also sorceresses. Oh yeah, I did get ambushed by that like fire lion thing or tiger.
The
Yes.
Flamehound.
Flamehound.
There is
That's-
one in a treasure chest.
Yeah, there's a mimic, and it's called a monster in a box in this game.
Yep.
Oh.
I like this fight because like it will fuck you right up with the amount of damage that it can do. Like it took out like half my party instantly, but it doesn't have very much HP, so you're just like, oh shit, get it out of the way, get it out of the way.
Yeah, just
so
go,
you just
go,
like
go.
throw everything you can at it, and it'll be fine. You'll just have some people dead.
You're like, I don't even care if my entire party gets EXP out of this.
Yeah,
like, just fucking
right.
kill this thing.
But it has something sweet inside, and that
Pretty
is
cool.
the flame sword, which like is going to let Cecil do damage for this entire tower.
Yep.
So he becomes quite the MF.
Yeah. Speaking of like damage that you can get from something in this like dungeon, I guess we would call it. You can get the Hell Claws.
Ooh,
Are those like the Osei Corel things?
The what?
No. Are they the cats?
No. So I'm talking about there's a
Oh.
weapon in here.
Oh,
for,
the weapon. I'm sorry.
for Young,
Yes,
where
yes.
you can get. I think the Hell Claw, which if you pair it up with the Fairy Claws that we got
Yes.
last episode, it will potentially inflict poison. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe it'll be a coin flip of if I can confuse them or poison them. I'd rather confuse them. And then there were certain enemies that I fought that I did both to, and I'm like, yo,
Yes.
fuck yes, dude.
It rules. It rules. Absolutely. Yeah. Yang becomes like very, very handy here because of that. For sure. I will say that like with all those like doors that you can go in, and some of them don't lead places and some of them do, and all the little hallways. In the 2D version, I missed it, and I'm so mad at myself. But I got it in the 3D one. You can also find like kind of like a set of flame armor and flame weapons and stuff here. And I got I missed the flame shield in my 2D version, and I was like, no.
well,
But,
that's the only place in this game that you can get that. There's definitely not a place next episode where you can just buy it.
Is it okay? I didn't know.
yeah. It's I think it's kind of expensive, but it's it's nice to have that. And that I think gives you higher defense against like Blizzard. In very Final Fantasy 1.
In this cave, we have an elf that keeps you from using anything with fire attacks. Because the walls are made of gunpowder or whatever. The gunpowder cannon. They're getting sneaky.
I like the idea that there's just like an elf in every area that just like doesn't allow you to use something. This elf is allergic to potions. No potions.
Centaur Knights.
Centaur
Oh yeah,
Knights.
those things are cool.
The Centaur Knights in the 2D version, I felt like they were just like a normal kind of enemy. In the 3D version, they have so much fucking HP. Holy shit. It takes forever to kill them.
I do like the weapon that they have. They're kind of like Darth Maul in it with like a double-edged like spear.
Love it. Love
or
that
like
for
a
them.
kayak paddle.
yeah. Damn.
Did you all fight the marionettes?
Yeah,
Ooh,
dude.
and the marionetteer, which I guess
Yes.
just means he's a puppet master.
Yeah.
Master of puppets, if you will.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. All right. That's all right.
The puppets in mine look like little Friezas.
Yeah, they look like spooky like babies in my version.
If you want to beat them, you have to do a spirit bomb. Which is very effective, but it takes like 30
the 2D
episodes.
ones are less like Frieza, but the 3D ones are much more like
Oh, they do
Frieza.
kind of look like Frieza. They have the same coloration.
Oh
at least.
wow, yeah. That's like Frieza meets Slappy from Goosebumps.
It has the haircut of Bobby Hill. You know, the Bobby Hill voice is just a kind of toned down Frieza voice if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like Bobby Hill is cut in half and he's getting ready to do one last blade move on Goku.
I'm okay, Dad.
Yeah. I'm okay, Dad. Damn you, Zayn's.
That's my Dragon Ball.
I don't know you. Yeah.
Yeah, before the podcast, Alex was playing some Britney Spears on guitar. And have you guys seen the picture of that Britney Spears posted like years and years ago on her Instagram, where the caption was just "My son is Lord Frieza," and it was like her son in a really cool fucking Frieza costume, like doing a jump kick.
Yes.
That's
Fucking
awesome.
rules.
I love her interest in her kids' like anime obsession. It's very
Yeah,
sweet.
it's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
awesome.
Free Britney.
Free her from Golbez's grasp.
I was gonna say if you have a coupon, you're entitled to one free Britney.
I feel like I would like to see the Amano art of the
Britney?
puppeteer or whatever of Britney. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's a fan. Puppeteer Amano, because I feel like that it's such an interesting design, and it kind of seems out of place with like the puppets themselves. But I'm like, that probably like the concept art for that probably looks so fucking cool.
It's Mary and Meatier on the fandom, I think.
Marionette.
Mario Nier.
Yeah, I was gonna say Super Mario Meatier.
Meatier.
I think I found it. Yeah, no, this is extremely cool.
It does
looking.
look like something that Amano would have designed just by how kind of wacky and kind of demented it looks.
And then the
fabrics
sprite
on its
just looks
clothes
like
are
a
all
fucking
different.
like Ren and Stimpy character.
Oh my god. Or whoever
Wow.
who's the artist who did like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas cover?
Oh
That
yeah,
guy.
I know what you're talking about.
Johnny Depp.
Ralph Steadman. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that whips. It's way more cooler than I think the with the 3D version, which just makes him look like a Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Or her, I guess. It's kind of a witchy thing going on.
A Bobbish Yaga.
Bobby Yaga.
Bobby Yaga.
Bobby Yaga. Damn it, Bobby Yaga.
But yeah, anything other? Any other weird enemies in this place?
God, yeah, there's so many.
There's gremlins. There's ice lizards, which are just, in the 3D version just look like iguanas that are kind of purple.
I ended up
I
running
did
away
get-
from a lot of things in this one.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. I did get an encounter with like multiple slimes here, I think, where it wasn't just like one, you know, like, oh, I know their weakness so I can use it like Pokemon style or whatever. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to kill them all and I need to like slowly like work my way up. And then I just cast like Firaga and like it did enough damage to all of them, like not the same amount of damage to all of them, but it did enough to kill them all. And I was like, oh, that was a freebie.
Nice.
That rules. Trying to think of what else there is here.
There's the fell turtle, which I mentioned, which can just absorb your fire attacks, which sucks.
Yeah.
Took me a second to realize that was happening because I was
yeah,
just
me
kinda
too.
button-mashing.
Me too. I was just smashing through it, and I was like, wait a second.
This guy's taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, I guess at a certain point we get to the save point.
Oh yeah, there's a little save chamber before you go to a room or hallway on the left.
Yeah, you
Correct.
don't want to miss this room.
No, you don't. Although
especially because like right after that part, to get all the chests with all the items, it's not particularly like difficult or like windy or anything, but there are multiple doors that lead to like another floor that will like take you to only a room where you can get some of the chests.
Yeah.
So I think there's like 4 doors or something, and then like the last one that you can come to leads you up to like where you're going to, which is, spoiler alerts, a boss fight.
A what?
But when you get up to that thing, as you're walking past, there's another door that you want to go in there and save because of, again, we're about to get into a boss fight.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about any of at all, which I think is quite hilarious?
What's that?
There's a bunch of dialogue as soon as we get into this dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even go over it.
That's fine.
Yeah, but long story short, when we get into it, we're led to believe that we're being taken to Rosa to get this deal over with. And we appear on the bottom of the tower, and we're all like, oh, where did Kane go? And then we hear Golbez's voice, and he's like, haha, you'll have to come find me to do this trade-off. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like it would be better for you to just meet us here. Like, we're going to end up killing like a lot of your henchmen. You could
Dude,
just
fucking imagine if...
They unionized.
No, but
all the enemies unionized.
just imagine if you like went on fucking Craigslist or like Facebook Marketplace or something. And you're like, oh, sick! This dude's selling like a guitar that I want. Like, let me. I'm gonna meet him in the parking lot of an Arby's. And then you get there and you just hear his voice, and he's like, "You must go into the Arby's, into the back room, and go under into the basement and
defeat
Oh,
all the
traveler!
It's like,
Howling
God
from the
damn,
roof
dude.
of the Arby's.
You're like, I'm already
Come
trying
find
to.
me.
I'm already trying to talk you down on your price. Like, fuck.
You have to do
I
like
already
the
drove
whole.
out here.
You have to do like the whole like Bruce Lee fight the pagoda of people or whatever to get to the top to be able to buy the guitar. And you get to the top and
Is
you're like,
200 okay?
yeah, and you're like, I don't know. I think I could find a cheaper one at Sam Ash, and you just leave.
You're like, yo, I only brought 150 in cash.
But anyway, when we leave the save point, to try to go down the hallway. We get into a boss battle like right in front of the door, right? And we hear these voices appear, and they're like, "Oh, welcome to the Tower of Zot," and I guess like they pretty much appear in front of us before they talk to us, right?
I think in my version, it was only the tallest of them appeared as a sprite in front of me, and I was like, "Damn."
Okay, got you. And it's somebody who we just hung out with last season.
Yeah, I was really excited about this.
Yeah, so we run into the Megas sisters again.
We run into Mindy, Cindy, and
Sandy.
Thomas.
Sandy,
that's right.
Karl Marx and
Yeah.
Karl Marx and SpongeBob.
yeah, it's like, welcome to the Tower of Zot. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. We're the Mega Sisters. We've served, what is it? Barbicia?
Yes.
The Empress of the Winds.
Barbicia, if you're playing any of the new ones. If you're playing the original translation of like the FF2 version, it'll be Valvalise, but it's corrected in the rest of them to align with Dante's Inferno.
She says, one of them says, I'm afraid your climb is at an end. We'll be taking that crystal. And they do their little like pose, like Supergirl pose.
Yeah, they're Sentai.
I also like to mention that their designs are really cute in this one. They're not super like
they're not buggy.
They're not like sci-fi bugs or whatever.
Yeah, they don't look like bugged out Power Rangers. They look more like they're kind of in Kigurumis almost.
Oh, I can see that.
Or they're almost like they're in pajamas in the 3 version, like
except for like Sandy. I feel like
Sandy's wearing like kind of like looks like a workout outfit, asymmetrical 80s workout.
Hell,
outfit.
fucking yeah, dude.
One of them was wearing like a mousy looking like suit.
I love
the Amano art is extremely good. It's very
see.
cute. I just sent it to you guys.
Oh, I do love that.
If you're following along at home, you should definitely check that out.
That's way cooler than the 3D version.
Yeah, it not what it looks like in the game. They're wearing very kind of like Renaissance-y fair sort of outfits, I would say.
Yeah.
All the Mono stuff looks way more fantastical.
Yeah. But no, they look fucking awesome.
I do like that in every version of the game. Who's the smallest one? Is that
Mindy, I think, right?
Mindy looks angry as fuck.
She's got little fiery firecracker.
Yeah,
I did a lot of grinding in Final Fantasy X with this particular summon, so I'm pretty sure I'm good with the names.
Yeah, I think that's right too. Yeah, I do like that she just looks salty as hell though. in every version of the game,
she does have very much like a Hot Topic kind of cute, squee kind of aesthetic where she's just like has like or she wears sarcastic t-shirts and
fuck yeah,
likes reading Giant the Homicidal Maniac and stuff like that.
Yeah, she doesn't read Garfield, but she loves having a Garfield shirt on.
Whomst
and she also hates
us
Mondays.
Does not identify.
Loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Look at those stripes. Look at those striped sleeves. You can't tell me that isn't Tim Burton influence.
So we get into a fight with them. And they threatened to hit us with Delta attack as we're going into the battle, right?
Oh, no.
But luckily, Delta attack is not the same as it was in
Thank fucking God.
10. Yeah, I was like,
this isn't
Delta
the Dark
attack.
Mega Sisters.
yeah, it's not them. So
we caught them at their prime, I should say.
Yeah, I feel like
in the later series, I think they just get stronger every game, probably.
I feel like in this game, their quote unquote Delta attack is really just like casting Reflect on Cindy and then using magic on her.
Yeah,
that's Delta attack, and you're like, that's just a normal attack. You're just attacking, is what that's called.
Yeah, and does it increase the damage because it seemed pretty weak? Okay, it still seemed pretty weak.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I know that different versions do different things. Let me find out real quick.
Yeah, because that was pretty much the thing. But what's funny is I don't know if I broke the AI or the AI just isn't particularly smart in this battle, because after a minute or two, they just started casting Reflect on to Cindy, who has already had Reflect on. So they were just reflecting my entire party, and I was like, I think the spells would still hit me because it didn't do the never-ending soft lock reflect like in earlier games.
Yeah.
But I found that pretty funny. Interesting. So I'm looking at the Japanese names as well, and it looks like Mindy is actually Ragu. Cindy is Magu, and Sandy is Dogu. So I don't know in Japanese like what that would,
what that translates to.
Yeah, I'm assuming it would kind of be similar where it's like Mindy, Cindy, and Sandy all kind of sound the same, except like, it's not Mindy, Cindy, and Bindi or whatever. Like it's that kind of looks like it follows the same convention, but I'd be interested to know. We'll have to ask Corey.
One means dog.
One means rag.
One means one means tomato
and
sauce.
one means music and gaming.
Well,
one means mug. That's weird.
I couldn't find the damage thing for this. I know that there are some...
I feel like it's not super important. This boss fight isn't too bad. I mean, it might just be because I also, I know this gimmick from using it and seeing it in Final Fantasy X.
Can I tell you all something fun about Reflect in this game, though?
Yes. What if I was like, no, we're moving on?
No, we're just not. Then I wouldn't do it. I would respect that, and I wouldn't tell you. But let me tell you something interesting about Reflect in this game. So, as we've already seen, different bosses have different phases, and Reflect damage does not count toward the phase change HP. So, if you get a boss down to where they have they've got you have to do say 10,000 HP, and then they're gonna change form. If from then on you just keep casting Reflect, they'll never change form. If you damage them by bouncing things off of your own enemies, and a lot of times the max HP that first form can have, period, is less than all the forms total. So on bosses with multiple forms, you can just Reflect damage them and never have to deal with the second form because their first form runs out of total HP and then they just die.
That's sick. That's so cool.
So you can skip phases and stuff. In this
it would
game
be funny if that just soft locked your game and deleted your file instead.
You can do it to a couple minor bosses, like the final boss, for instance.
I mean, to be fair, in Bloodborne, there's a very, very difficult. It's pretty much like the boss of the DLC area, that has a second phase.
The fetus. Whatever.
The Orphan of Kos.
The Orphan of Kos, that's right.
And I think it's a speedrun strat where you can just pretty much continually parry it over and over again and not do the counterattack where you do critical damage or whatever. You just attack him a couple of times, and every time you do that, he will follow up with the same exact attack. So you can just parry lock him, continually parry him. And I was having such a hard time with that boss that in my first and only playthrough of the DLC, I just did that and beat it. But the developers didn't think anyone would ever be able to kill it without triggering the second phase. So instead of there being a death animation and stuff, the boss just stands up. And it's very tall and lanky and scary looking. So I killed it. I got it down to 0 HP, and it just stood up completely and was just idling there. And I was
did T-pose to assert dominance.
Yeah, and I was just so fucking scared. And I was oh my god, what the fuck just happened? And then it was just prey slaughtered. I'm I wonder what the lore significance is with the fact that he's the only boss that doesn't explode into blood. And then I was oh no, I just broke the game because I'm a fucking coward.
Yeah, that's so good. That rules. Although that would be kind of scary, of just standing up on you like that.
It was really fucking weird.
Well, when you kill Cindy, and Mindy, they stand all up on top of each other like three kids
they all
in a trench coat.
They T-pose and start slowly rotating.
Can you rotate an entire Mega Sisters in your mind?
Yes, but the way I do it is the one in the middle is rotating counterclockwise while the other two are rotating clockwise.
Well, that's how gears work, right? They can't turn in the same direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not too bad, especially in the 2D versions. Especially in the 2D versions, they're not too bad.
2D.
But in the 3D version, everything is bad all the time. So
I would imagine this would be difficult.
Let me tell you a fun thing about all of the bosses in the Tower of Zot. Everyone can be poisoned. It's great.
I was going to say, wait, what do you mean all of the bosses? We just finished the boss of the Tower of Zot, right?
Oh, I saw all three of them. Well, I thought we were still talking about.
Yeah, we finished all three of the bosses in the Tower of Zot, right?
Those three bosses can be poisoned, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you said. I almost said, dude.
And they are human, more or less.
Cindy's HP in the 3D version is insane. I was sitting there for 15-20 minutes just hacking. I was just does she die? Am I doing something wrong? What is going on? And
she is definitely the tank of the trio.
By far. And she's the first one you need to take out too, because she'll revive the others.
Oh,
geez.
interesting. Cool. Yeah, I just kind of did that just because I was like, okay, well, she's the one that it has reflect up. Like, that seems like the best one to try and take out first. And I just got this cool flame sword, so let me fucking use it.
Yeah.
Dude, look at them in 14. This rules.
That's badass.
Yo, hell fucking yeah.
Dude, we got to start playing 14. Holy shit.
I literally have to start. I made a promise with the with the charity thing that I did, so I owe it to people.
Oh, really? To play 14?
Yeah.
Well, when you do, let me know. I'll jump there and I'll play some with you.
Yo, fuck yeah. I got to figure out what class I want to be. After playing this, I kind of want to be a paladin.
Ooh.
If that is a class that you can be.
So I have a character on there. And my favorites are ranged DPS because nobody counts on me for shit.
Yo, that sounds nice.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's just fucking goofing off, not doing anything. It's fine. Who cares? Like, they don't add anything to the team. It's okay. And I'm just like, yeah, look at this thing over here. Dude.
I need to get fired from my job and then just become a full-time Final Fantasy 14 streamer. I think that's the life change that I need to make.
I think I'm just gonna start playing at my job.
You fucking should. If you can, you should.
At the risk of getting myself fired, rate our podcast 5 stars and let me know if I should start streaming video games while I'm at work.
Curtis, you should start podcasting while you're at work. That would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't that be crazy if I was podcasting?
That would be
at
wild
work?
if that was a thing that happened.
Oh my god! Hopefully, I'll never have to do that. Hopefully, I'm not at work right now, and we keep having to.
Let's just say hypothetically, when work was a lot slower for one of the hosts of this show during the Final Fantasy X season, let's just say that hypothetically some lunch breaks that one of the hosts was taking kind of extended longer than the typical lunch break because I was stuck at fucking Final Fantasy X bullshit that took way longer than I expected it to. I mean, than they expected it to.
Imagine, if you will, it was Labor Day while we were recording a podcast, and I kept having to take like quick 5-minute breaks to go deal with one of the customers on the site to help them set up their servers. That would be wild.
Wild times indeed. So anyway, we've killed the Mega Sisters, much like Yuna did in Cold Blood at the end of last season.
That's right.
Yeah.
She did. She murdered them all. If only Yuna was here, she would take care of them so quick.
Yuna, it's like the meme that's going around. That I mean, there's several versions of it, but the recent one is Tobey Maguire as like Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. What is that? Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
It's like Yuna cleaning up all our battles for us. Like he said he wanted to defeat the Mega Sisters.
But yeah, they do a little ending kind of cutscene because they're like, no, how could our Delta attack have failed?
Yeah.
We're through. And then they kind of poof. I'm not sure if they're dead or not.
Oh, they're
just
dead.
I like that in the script that I'm reading off of. I don't think this was the case in my game, but Sandy just says, "Oh poo."
Oh poo.
Oh poopy, as Rika would say in a future game.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Mega Sisters.
That's the Megas.
We're like over halfway through all the content in Tower of Zot. So how about we go ahead and take our break?
Yeah, we're gonna dip back into that save room. We're gonna save again,
and which, by the way,
tent
is a good idea.
Yes, yes, it is. Also, I don't think pop a tent is the best way to say use a tent.
Do attend.
I'm just gonna sit back in my chair and pitch a tent. You might say. I'll see you after the break. I heard a rumor that the villain in the new Spider-Man was supposed to be this really famous older actor, but they can't get him now because he's dead, and his name is Tella.
May he rest.
I mean, what?
I wish we could talk to Edward. Since we have his little cool walkie-talkie.
Oh lead. Yeah, we do like a Metal Gear Solid menu pops up where you see Cecil in the green, on the left side.
Edward is very much an
right
Ocelot kind of character. He's a or Otacon, right?
Otacon, yeah.
Edward.
He's such a weenie. He probably would piss himself.
He for sure is a guy who pisses himself.
He calls
It's
you
just like one of my Japanese animes.
I was gonna say he calls you on the whisper weed, and he's like, "Oh, it's just like one of my Japanese anime."
Cecil.
Cecil,
Can love
Edward,
Bloom and Damsian on the battlefield?
you'll need to get to the 7th floor of the tower. 7th floor tower.
7th floor basement. Got it.
Got it. Well, that's fucking cursed. Anyway,
It just works way too well.
so we're pretty much at the top of the tower once we beat the Mega Sisters.
We don't know that. There's just no more stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all we know,
assume.
there could be like hundreds of more floors because we don't know what this tower looks like.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
This is just as far up as Golbez wanted to go.
Yeah, he walked up that many stairs and he was just like, ugh, I don't know, I'm done with this.
Yeah, during our Facebook interaction, he's like, I can meet you halfway.
Yeah, right. So we go up to the next floor, and what I like about the next floor is the way that it's built is that the door that you enter is facing south, so you have to like walk around this little center area to go north in the room. But as soon as you walk out, you can see Kane standing up there, and so like I guess it's supposed to be surprising because you go around and you're like, oh my god, there they all are. But like from the very first tile, you can see Kane standing in like the top left corner, and I was like, oh, well, I guess that's happening here then.
It's like when you see a legendary Pokemon on the overworld and it's like, oh, I gotta save or something before I for this thing.
Yeah.
Before the dogs in the burnt tower run away.
Yeah. So Kane and Golbez are here. Suspiciously no Rosa's here, right?
Yeah.
She's probably hanging out back.
Oh yeah, Golbez says impressive, and I always go most impressive.
He did alter the deal. No, that was Kane.
He did. Says will ask where Rosa is. He's like, oh, he does the classic villain thing, right? Like, oh, hand me the diamond first, and then we'll give you Rosa, you know?
Yeah.
Throw me the idol and I'll
Give
throw
me
you
the
whip.
$1 trillion bill, and then I'll give it back to you.
Speaking of Alfred Molina, that was him in the Indiana Jones.
Oh, very nice.
This is a classic Jafar moment from Aladdin where he says, first give
Throw
me
the lamp.
First give me the lamp.
And then Cecil is forever trapped in the Cave of Wonders.
The diamond in the rough.
Cecil's very trusting, and I think that's
He
his
is.
biggest downfall.
Yeah, what a
He's
fucking
yeah.
dipshit.
like, is Rosa safe? Like, never more so. Now give it to me. Like, all right.
Yeah, he's like,
As
yeah, that's
promised.
fine. And he gives the
Yeah, you pinky swear it or whatever.
I don't think Golbez would go back on a promise he made to me. After trying to
Mr.
kill
Burns.
me.
I think we can trust Golbez. That's the second time we've made that joke
It's
this
too,
season.
Yeah, it's too
Yeah.
fitting. It's too fitting.
Dude,
This
I know we pointed it out before that, like, you know, our team is always late to things and, like, everything they try always gets fucked up. But it is like we're finally in a position where we're like, okay, we have a paladin and a bunch of strong people on our team. It's time for the comeback, right? It's time for the FF4 comeback of the century. And like once again, Cecil's just like, yeah, it's probably fine. We can trust this guy. I'm pretty sure it's fine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Cecil, you idiot.
Real himbo energy this season.
What could possibly go wrong? But yeah, like immediately Golbez is just a total like playground bully.
He's
He's like, release Rosa, and it's like, Rosa, whoever would that be?
Yeah, like this
yeah.
like sniveling little fuck. Like
I
I know
know.
he's like a super powerful being and stuff, but I'm like, seriously, dude, like why did you say it so fucking like lame?
But then we get down to brass fucking tacks, baby, because Tella says, your words are as cursed as your soul. And Golbez says, I have no business with you, old man. And Tella says, oh, but I have business with you.
Hell
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that's so badass. He says, the business of the father of a murdered daughter. And then Golbez looks at him and says, for you, it was the worst day of your life. For me, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah. Golbez in my version does call Tella a dotard, which fucking rules.
Ooh.
Tell your Golbez if he's got beef, I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
He calls him an An octogenarian Doddard. And I was like, damn.
That's good. But they get into a fight. So we're not actually participating in this fight, even though it's on the battle screen. And Tella's just casting like all 3 magic, right? Like Ice 3, Fire 3, and doing decent damage. But Golbez is just like shrugging it off. He's like, what could you possibly hope to do to me? Like, you can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, when I was using Tella, I was doing like in the thousands range of damage. And then I saw him doing it against Golbez and and he was using like, the highest spells and stuff, and it was doing like 300 or 400.
Oh, really?
And I just saw Tella's MP running down each time, and I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Also, in the 3D version, Golbez is like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, he's huge.
Even in the 2D version.
Huge codpiece.
And a huge cock of a voice. It's always screaming, what's up and stuff. Golbez fucking hates us. He fucking does.
I'm never not gonna be able to think of this fucking scene now and just be like, dude, Golbez has a huge cock. It's insane. Dude, his
or the armor is built for someone
big.
with a huge cock.
Yeah.
That's where he keeps his like ultimate ears speaker.
I mean, he could have also been doing it to compensate.
His Pringles can.
I was gonna say it's at the point where it's actually like it's not like a benefit to him at all, where it's like he's like, no, it's a severe problem, like it's a glandular thing, like it shouldn't be like
he's like Willem Dafoe in that one movie where he needed to do a nude scene and the director was like, okay, we need to get a stunt double, and Willem Dafoe's like, why? I have no problem doing this. And like, okay, you have a confusingly large penis, so we can't use you because your penis is too big. We need to use someone with a smaller penis. Willem Dafoe would actually be a pretty good Golbez now that I think about it.
If they had Peter Jackson do it, they would have done some forced perspective shit. So
You bow to no one.
God, that's the best joke that's been told on this podcast yet.
But anyway, it's time for Meatier.
It's time for death for someone.
Speaking of meat.
Yeah, speaking of meat, it is time for Meatier, yeah.
Tella's just a little meteor.
Yeah, so he's getting ready to cast Meatier, and like the party, like Cecil's like, no, you can't, don't do this, and
Yang's like, it will destroy you.
Right, he says, if it kills me, so be it. Let my life fuel the spell that ends his. And then he casts really Meatier, cool. And it does quad 9 damage. It fucks Golbez right up.
Yep.
The actual like attack animation in the 3 version is very underwhelming.
It is in the 2D version too. And like the sound,
it looked very similar to just like Comet and like just but with instead of stars, it's this little explosion. It's like pew pew pew.
In the 2D version, the sound effects it makes is like pew 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 pew. It's like very cute. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. But it does do quad 9s to him, and Golbez is like, holy shit! Like he says, impossible. How could you know Meatier? And then he's like, and he does like a little disintegration thing, right? Like he's beaten.
Yeah, he gets Thanos snapped right out of it.
Yeah, he gets fucked right up.
In the cutscene, he's fine.
I think that the way that I am led to believe it is that he is like seriously wounded, but he's like still alive and still like able to battle and stuff.
I think I was also very confused about this and had a problem with it at first, but I think we'll talk a little bit more about it on next week's episode.
All right.
Okay. But what it does do is it immediately like it severs his mind control on people, right? Like he's damaged enough that Kane is no longer under his mind control, which in the 2D version, in the SNES version, I really like Kane's animation after telecast Meatio, because like nothing, he doesn't say anything or like necessarily do anything, but as soon as it's cast and we're back out of the battle, he just like casually walks a couple tiles to the left and then up one tile, and then just without sound effects just lays down. And I was like, yeah, I'd probably need a nap after that too. Like, he just like very calmly is like, oh boy, gonna go lay down for a second.
That kicks so much ass. Also, yeah, this is the first time where we get actual confirmation that it is Like, we could have guessed, I guess, with all the Yang stuff, but yeah, Cain was not just being an asshole because he was like in love with Rosa and wanted to, was jealous of Cecil, but he was under the spell of Golbez.
I have an interesting insight about that we'll get to in the next room.
Nice.
So he essentially beats Golbez. Like, Golbez is now, he's still alive. He's still able to like tango with Cecil one-on-one, right? But I get the feeling that like he's probably too injured to like do some kind of devastating battle against all 5 of us at this point, because he is like ready to retreat at this point. He's like, oh shit, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is bad. But beforehand, Cecil runs up on him, and Golbez like hits him with a blast or whatever and knocks him backward. And Golbez is ready to walk up on Cecil and kill him, right? Like, he's ready to do it. And then he stops right before he does. And Cecil's like, oh, what's the matter? Like, can't you finish it? Like, don't you want to finish the job?
Why? Why now stay your hand?
You, but how?
Golbez is like kind of cryptic. He's like, wait a minute, what are you? Like, why do I know who you are? And like, Cecil's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know how you're here, but we'll finish this later. And he leaves. Yeah. And so you're like, oh shit, what is going on between Cecil and Golbez? Like, why does Golbez recognize him? Yeah, so the further intrigue. Mm-hmm. How exciting.
This was when I kind of started getting a theory.
Yeah, you may be
right. I'm wondering if I should talk about my theory.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about your theory. Yeah. I'll do my best to not.
Here's what we're going to do. I'll say my theory. We won't react to it or anything, and we'll just move on to the next scene after I say it. But leading into this, I was...
No, go ahead.
He's Superman, damn it.
Yeah, leading into this, I was like, okay, that weird light that turned Cecil into a paladin, like that was like God, or like
and give him a sword,
called him son or something, and it was like, okay, maybe it's his father or something like that. And I'm like, maybe this is some like, I know Final Fantasy loves fucking Star Wars, so I'm like, maybe this is some Star Wars shit. Golbez is like Cecil's father, and that light, whatever that was his mother. And like, Golbez's whole thing was like having a lot of people turn into Dark Knights, or at least just Cecil, like, take up the Dark Blade so that he couldn't be struck down by a Dark Knight, but then was turned into a paladin through some other force. So I'm thinking something like that.
It would lend some credence to the entire, like, what did the light say when it very first gave him the sword? He's like the light says, like, this is going to be good for you, but very hard for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's just where my mind is currently at with this, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, let's take it to the next scene.
Take it to the next scene.
Everyone runs over to check up on
Tella,
on Cecil after. And they're just like, "Hey, I'm fine." And then they go over to Tella because Golbez is gone.
And I hate this so much because like, because you can tell that Tella knows that he like died for nothing at this point. He's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Like, he like literally says, he's like, I've brought this on myself, letting hate consume me. Oh no, so he's like, he realizes that like he's killed himself and not even avenged his daughter, right?
Yeah.
So very sad. And also in the 3D version, Yang really does a lot of acting in this part. Like, there's a lot of voice acting from him where he's like, Tella, no, you old fool, no. And I was like, oh man, he's really getting into it. It's good. It's good.
Oh, Sid is actually the one that says, come on, open your eyes, you old fool.
Yeah, I do love that Sid's like, fuck, like he's like sad now. Like, he's like, yeah, we were enemies or whatever, but we're actually boys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can say this now that you're dead.
Sid's face in the 3D version is very silly because it just looks like Gritty with goggles. Just,
I love it.
Just trying to seriously like have an emotional scene.
He just looks like fucking Booster from Super Mario RPG.
He does. Wow, wow, wow.
It lends it. It just feels like that meme where like when you see like your customizable character in like a serious
yeah, like a fucking clown or something.
But yeah, like Yang is in the back, like doing his very kind of somber. Even though he hasn't known him for that long, he's like, oh, Yang, or whatever. And
Sid's known him the least amount of time of anybody, right?
Maybe.
Or well, no, I guess Yang. 2 actually, because we lost Tella before we met Yang. Yeah, that's right.
I know you guys are probably also looking at the same script that I'm looking at, but I just want to send you this clip of it, which is like, I mean, the thing we're talking about is very sad in context, but when I'm reading the script, it's just like
Dead.
Tella, like, I'm such a fool. I lost myself in hatred. Avenge my daughter for me. I beg you. Tell us. And then it says Tella stopped breathing and died at the scene. And then it shows everyone, but also has like ellipsis for when Tella's talking. It's like Tella, and Yang's like says exclamation points, and then it just says Tella, and then in parentheses it says dead. ... And then get up, you old. And then it's just Tella again, dead. ...
Tella, your silence is deafening. It's like what seems to get interrupted
Tella,
by
your
his own
silence
death.
will only incriminate you further.
Yeah.
No, stay back, Tella. Mr. Tella, no.
But yeah, so after that, Cecil goes to check on Kane, right? And Kane has now been like released from Golbez's mind control, and he's like, "Oh my god, all the things that I've done, please forgive me." And Cecil's like, "Oh no, it's fine. He had control over you, so whatever." And then this is the thing I was going to point out that's different, because when we rescued Yang was like, "Yeah, I don't know where I've been for the last several weeks. I guess I've been under control or whatever." And Kane's like, "No, I remember every second of it. Like,
Yeah.
I was conscious for it." And so I'm like, is there a difference? Because like, again, I like all the things Kane did were like kind of already there. And so I'm like, I wonder what the deal with Kane is, really.
In my like reading of that, it's that Kane had a much like weaker constitution than Yang. Like Yang is, you know, the warrior monk from Fabul who like is pretty much in line to like be the king or whatever. And like he's very much like someone who is very like concentrated and very like spiritually very strong, and Kane has kind of always just been sort of on the fence and been like, well, I'm gonna follow orders, and you know, like I don't really know what I want to do, but I'll do what my friends do.
I think Kane was like kind of slowly kind of eased into it, like the you know the frog in the hot pot of water kind of
the
thing.
boiled frogs, yeah.
That's one. But he was aware of the whole thing, and then kind of before he realized it, he was kind of slow. It was like a slowly taken in over.
I think it was
slowly influenced by Golbez. While Yang like, we need to get someone to work for us ASAP. Let's just give him a little like mind control thing.
I think it was mostly Golbez controlling Kane, but in the sense of like he didn't have to use his full power to control Kane, just because Kane is
he just had to push him
a much
in the
weaker
right direction.
spirit, so he was way more susceptible to like this sort of thing and just like the power of suggestion to be hypnotized, versus like Yang, who was just like, oh no, this guy's mind has to be like not there for us to do this.
Yang's brain is too strong.
He's got the brain the size of a planet. I'm just gonna keep doing Brad Neely fucking Professor Brothers
I saw
Yang does seem like he has a very like stronger constitution. They would just have to use like some sort of zombie spell to just like like just as a short, because they can't like Kane, they just like slowly eased him into it.
But he mentions Rosa, and then Cecil's like immediately like, "Oh shit, Rosa, where is she?" And then like Kane's like, "Oh shit, that's right." Like he's like, "She's in the room above us," and so they all run. And when I say
I'm sure we don't have to rush to get her. She's probably fine.
And then everybody, with the exception of Tella, who is now dead, R.I.P. my boy. Also, I'm sad. I'm sorry. We didn't really stop on that, but Tella was my boy.
It's extremely sad. Tella fucking rules, and it's a very tragic
we
story.
knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they set it up since he learned Meatier, and we were never able to cast it. Like, he knew.
He's been saying ever since, like, I'm going to learn Meatier, even if it kills me.
Yep. Yeah. Boy, did he. Mages do not have a good track record in our party of staying alive at this point.
Absolutely true.
I think we've had 5.
Does Rydia count as a mage?
I would say so.
Yeah, I guess
she's a summoner.
I guess Rose is the only one who's like still around.
She's a white mage.
Yeah, but so is yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Porum.
And Balam, yeah, and they're
pour him out for Tella, because he is now dead, much like our friend Tora Porum.
Talam and Torum. So yeah, they run up to the next area, where there is some hilarious differences depending on which version of the game that you're playing. So you run up, And Rosa's there. She's like chained up, right? And above her is something. What was above Rosa?
It was like a guillotine blade, like a Sen's Fortress guillotine blade, like a pendulum guillotine.
Yeah, same. In the 3D version, she is kind of on a cross with a like what looks like just a big,
Slicey
large.
boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that blade is called.
Curtis, is
like
it just an anvil in yours?
It's just a cartoon anvil.
What? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I just thought of the most ridiculous thing that I could, and I was like, some fucking Daffy Duck ass shit.
I was trying to find a
goddamn
picture of it real quick.
anvil.
Hold on.
No, fucking
No,
way.
it's got to be a grand piano, right?
Shout outs to my one buddy Theo, who years and years and years ago he said the way that he wants to die is by walking down the street on a very beautiful, sunny, like wonderful day, and weirdly he will be holding an umbrella, and what he wants to do is put the umbrella up above his head and then get crushed by a grand piano.
What's like the random thing that Kirby turns into in Smash Brothers?
Oh yeah, it's like the rock or whatever.
No,
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's like the little
All
weight.
I take it back. FF6 has the big hilarious 4-ton anvil. This one just has a goofy like metal ball that looks like the big Indiana Jones ball or whatever. It like rolls down.
Oh, so this is a cannonball.
Yeah. I'm sorry. FF6 has the big hilarious 4-ton weight.
Spoiler.
Hey, spoiler. Either way, it's hilarious because they're like, "Oh no, the big rolling ball!" and they have to get away from it.
That's a cool blade in ours.
Yeah, good shit.
For me, it looked like a Mesa Luna, which I had to look up, which is like a moon-shaped two-handed blade that you use for making pesto and shit. And pizza. The one that kind of rocks back and forth.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Hell
In the 3D
yeah.
version. Yep.
So Golbez is probably making some good dough up here.
But Cecil rescues her like at the last second, right?
Yeah,
like, right
like
as it's falling
frame
down.
perfect.
I didn't even know it was going to fall. Like I didn't really understand what was happening until he pulled away. And like, oh, it was like, how did we know that was going to happen?
Yeah, and like the team's even like, holy shit, if we got here like a second later.
They were like, damn, if
Oh
we
my
were still
goodness.
talking about the dumb shit we were talking about in the last room, then she would most surely be
Damn
dead.
it, Tella.
This is the only time we've been on time for anything in the entire game.
Yeah, and it was like just barely on time.
If
Just
Tella died
barely.
any slower, we'd be fucked.
Tella, I appreciate your death monologue, but you're really gonna need to wrap this up and quick.
Yeah, they have like a tender moment, right? Rosa and Cecil.
They embrace, and it's very cute on the Famicom version because like they make an entirely new sprite just for that.
Yeah, that's
And
what
it's
happens
like-
on mine too.
Yeah, it's very well done. I was like, ooh, how impressive.
It doesn't look, even though it's like just them both in one tile, it doesn't look bad.
No,
It
yeah,
looks
it was really
good.
good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very cute.
Mostly a hug in the 3D version, but it could be interpreted as a kiss as well.
Yeah,
A
possibly.
very theater, high school or middle school play kiss.
Yeah. And
Where
this-
they're kind
you
of just
know,
they're necking.
This entire game has a very theatery feel to it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Definitely.
Like it's very much that way. Like even when the characters talk to each other, it almost seems like they're talking out into an audience or something.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Who
yeah.
is the audience, I wonder?
But yeah, we're like Cecil's like Rosa, and Rosa's like, I knew you'd come for me. I realized. Oh yeah, and then Cecil's like, I realized the moment you left my side. Rosa, and then ... and oh Cecil. So I think they're like, there's kind of unspoken. They don't want to say I love you or anything like that. They want you to kind of fill in your own interpretation maybe of their relationship.
I do really like that Sid is like, I what? Like spit it out. Like he's like trying to he's like, dude, fucking, you know.
Oh, he does say that?
Yeah, he's basically getting like, yo, Cecil, man up and tell her that you love her.
It's like if there was a third character in the beginning of Link to the Past, like Zelda is your bleh, and just dies. Zelda's my what?
My wife.
I like that in one of the versions, the version I'm reading the script off of, Sid says, "Goodness gracious, things certainly are heating up in here." But Rosa notices that Kane is with them, and she's kind of like, "Oh shit, Kane's here," and he's like, "No, I'm good now. Like I'm not crazy anymore." But he does say like, "Forgive me, not all of what I did was because of Golbez's spell. I just wanted to keep you close by my side." And yeah, I know. And she asks him to join the fight, and he apologizes and is like, all right, let's get together. So Kane's now back in, like he's back on the team, right?
Yeah,
It's like no time for sentimental shit. We gotta get out of here.
It's really nice in the version that I'm playing because it's like, okay, let's fight together. And he's like, after all that I've done, it's too late. He's like, I can't. Like I've gone too far. I shouldn't be allowed to. Cecil like doesn't say anything. He's just kind of like, oh, this is kind of awkward. And Sid's just like, oh, he saved the corny drama for later. We gotta scram.
God, Sid is such a fucking chat. I love
Sid
him so
fucking
much.
rules.
He's so good.
Sid's like, I got airships to work on and shit. Like, let's wrap this shit up.
This might be my favorite Sid in like Final Fantasy. Like,
He's
total.
really good.
He's really good.
Sid's like, every time the airship is not on screen, people should be asking, where's the airship? It's like, I can't wait to get back on my airship, basically.
But yeah, so they all agree, and they're like, all right, yeah, you're right, let's go. And so we get a second, right? The party reforms, we get a second. And I think we have a full party right now, right? Like a
Hell
full
yeah.
5
team.
people.
So I love every time in the game that we get 5 people on a party. I'm just like, ooh, yes. So who do we got? We got Cecil, Yang, Kane, Rosa, and Sid.
Hell
Right?
yeah.
So like
It's
quite
a very well-rounded group.
very well-rounded group. I love this team.
We got a kicker. We got a fighter. We got a
Defenseman.
kind of a magical fighter.
yeah,
And a white mage. And
an old man.
Yeah, we got
engineer.
ourselves a blitzball team.
We got ourselves a blitzball team. Oh man, they're great. But
Sid would rule as a goalie.
Yeah, he's got real
Yeah.
Keepa energy.
Or brother.
See, I'd played this game before, so I knew what was getting ready to happen. So I was like, haha, I'm going to take this opportunity to heal up and do all kinds of... And you're already healed up because we haven't actually been into a battle yet. And then all the equipment that everybody had was already maxed out. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess it didn't matter after all.
But yeah,
And,
we try leaving the room and then something happens. We hear
Yes.
someone
Oh,
laugh.
Yeah. Remember the name that the Magnuses dropped that I actually didn't remember?
Barbaricia.
Barbaricia. Barbara.
Barbaricia.
We're all doing the Italian chef.
She make it a spaghetti.
Barbara Ann.
That's why they get the Mezzaluna here, because these guys are all Italian chefs.
She comes in and she's like, you will try my calzone.
We hear a voice, or I guess read a voice, because there's no voice. Maybe there's voice acting. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
you just hear laughing, and
Yeah, we hear someone say, somebody touch my spaghetti.
yes, it seems I have underestimated you. I have not thought you strong enough to wound Lord Gobez.
Yeah.
Lord Golbez. Sorry, I had to
Yeah.
to Gobez.
I like Gomez.
Ward Golbez. Sorry, I've been all the Homestar Runner Labor Day cartoons.
yeah.
Are all
Oh,
for me.
okay. Kane says it's Barbaricia, one of Golbez's elemental archfiends.
The devil
And-
of wind.
Arch friend.
One of the arch friends. And she appears in front of you. And she's like, oh, so Kane, you've betrayed us. And with all that strength, too, what a waste. And he says, I've betrayed no one. I've returned to my senses.
Yeah, I've
And so
grown
they-
sick of siding with freaks like you.
Ooh, got her.
Barbara says, like, I should have killed you and Rosa both when I first had the chance.
With arch friends like you, who needs arch enemies?
Allow me to amend my past mistakes, she says, and then we're in battle, right?
Yeah, she's like-
well, Kane says one more thing before we get in battle,
right.
and I love it. He says, I welcome you to try. You're not the only one who can ride the wind. And I was like, oh, that
Pretty
rules.
fucking sick.
Ride the whip.
Fucking sick. You know what? Kane's been back on the team for like 5 minutes. Loving having him around.
Hooray, we're boys
like,
again.
Everybody else is like too much of a nerd to have good comebacks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like everybody else on our team is like such a like goody two shoes, and so it's nice to have like Kane be like, "Ooh, quick barb." Oh, love that. Schooled
So
him. Got
Barbaricia
him.
kind of comes off as like a, I don't know, her design is kind of reminiscent of Shiva in our last season, just kind of a bikini type of thing, right?
You know what? You know what she reminds me of? Like what I thought when I saw her was the. Do you remember in FF1 where we would fight like the spirits or whatever? They were like Earth Spirit and Wind Spirit and all that stuff or
Oh,
whatever. It
yeah.
kind of reminds me of like that feel. I think to me.
I like how I googled Final Fantasy 1 spirits. And
Delicious.
the thing that came up when I googled that was just Final Fantasy, the spirits within. No, that is not what I want.
Do you remember that there was an enemy that was just called Air?
Oh, yeah.
Hate that shit.
But yeah, she's just a lady. Your typical Final Fantasy skimpy lady.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa. She's a lady.
Again, I'll say it every single time. I'm gonna beat this fucking horse to death. 2D version, not so bad. 3D version, holy shit, what a fight.
Yeah, she's a Tasmanian devil, basically.
Yeah, she's a Tasmanian devil. She goes and fucking
And turns into a little tornado.
yeah. So the trick with this one is every so many turns, she like turns into her tornado form, where she's basically like a tornado with Barbaricia's head on top, and
It looks like she's riding like a big old scone or cornetto, like a croissant or something like that.
Actually, you know what?
Funnel cake.
What does she do when?
What does
that
she do?
happens? Hold on.
You know, I don't really know. Just because I thought at one point that she was like had more defense or something, because I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
But it really didn't take me that long to just like take her down. I think while she's in the tornado form, she counters all weapon attacks with the exception of Kane's jump, which forces her out of this form. So
She uses an attack called
Maelstrom.
She counters with strong physical attacks and the Maelstrom spell, which sounds more like some wind shit.
Oh, it's an ability that reduces the HP of the entire party into single digits.
damn,
fuck.
I don't think that hit me. I think I was pretty much just spamming jump with Kane because I was like, shit, I haven't done this in
Dude,
a while.
just spam jump. Just every turn. Just use jump with Kane. That's
Might
what
as
he's
well
good for you.
jump.
Especially in the 3D
I
version, she
get
becomes
up.
tornado firm like once a turn. So by the time your 5 party members have gone, she's probably gone to tornado form again. So that's one of the challenges of the 3D version, that like there is no rest from it. It is constant.
Damn.
The other thing is she can use lightning, which is like a fucking thunder spell on everybody. And in the 3D
no.
version, that would kill 3 of my 5 party members every single time she used it, even if they were max HP.
Damn.
And I was just like, God. So I was constantly on the back foot. And I couldn't use Kane to heal up because he was constantly having to jump. And I couldn't like deal with having the tornado up. So like it was quite the slog. And like I couldn't use the Bacchus wine trick on Yang to get like more attack power, because then he would hit her while she was in tornado form. And I couldn't have that, right?
Right.
So like it was a tough fucking battle. It was very difficult in 3D version.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a gimmick that was going on that I was maybe like over leveled for or something, because I was like trying to figure it out and then I was like, oh, and that's the end of the battle. Okay.
Yeah. Once again, though, Yong's Hell Claws, dog, she can be poisoned.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got the extra damage there the whole time. Very nice. Although, poison in the 3D version is very slow, like both on you and the enemy. So it really didn't add that much to the fight.
It doesn't, it's not like other Final Fantasy games where it's like every turn it does like X amount or whatever, and you have to like, it's constantly just draining.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the 3D version, it does a certain amount.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. If my Twitch VODs of when I do the homework or whatever, I guess they stay up for a couple weeks. So if you're listening to this as it comes out and you want to go see it, you should go see my Twitch VOD where I fight Barbaricia in the 3D version and watch me focus with Yang like 3 times to where he has his max damage and then miss on the punch and then be
God.
like, it's fine, I'll get her next time. And then I spend 3 more turns of Yang focusing, and then he misses again on the next punch, and I'm like, this battle sucks.
You could also
This whole
set that
game
as a
just blows.
highlight if you wanted.
Oh, that's true. I should do that. Yeah. Where I was just like, Yang, you son of a bitch. Like, I spent so many turns on you. And he would die. He was one of the characters who would die to lightning. So if I could keep him alive for 3 to 4 turns to be able to do it, like, that was incredible. And then I was like, all right, I've been saving up the whole time for this. And he would just miss, and all of his focus is ruined. And I was like,
Goddamn.
well, this game sucks. It was very difficult. Also, her physical attacks would just one-hit KO my party members.
Damn.
In the 3D version. It was just over. But Cecil has Protect, and Rosa has Shell and Protect. And those do work to reduce some of the damage. And in this game, or at least in the 3D version, unlike every other Final Fantasy, you can cast Shell and Protect on everybody at once. So you don't need like to get like Protect Gut or something like that. So that's super handy.
That's sick. I wish I had that. I don't think that works that way.
Yeah. Like it's very annoying and kind of difficult playing the 3D version, especially on the Steam port where like the menu feels very, very bad. But it is also kind of fun in the way that like you really have to think about what you're doing and really pull out every one of the spells to be able to survive. And so like you do get a sense of accomplishment from it, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of a, for lack of a better word, fun challenge.
Yeah. It would be fun if there wasn't like a full second of delay between like pressing a button on the menu and then seeing it move. And then sometimes like the cursor will just reset for some reason and when you're in like the spell choice menu. So you'll like move to a certain spell and then hit A and the cursor will move back to the initial point where it was at. Or it'll visibly move. Like I guess like when you select a spell, like if you select like thunder or whatever, the cursor will reset to its initial position in the top left of the menu, but it will do it before the menu goes away. And so you physically see like, no, I just chose the wrong spell. It just chose fire for me because that's where the cursor was. And so like you don't know what you chose, so you have to back out of the menu again and then redo it. And then the whole time you're just getting beat up and the menu is so slow and you're like, this is just not fun. Yeah, it's terribly optimized. It's awfully optimized. But if it wasn't for that, though, it would be a blast.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any like mods or anything that you can.
Oh, I wonder. That would
like
be
quality
huge.
of life mods for that.
That would be huge. Yeah. Because like half the fucking difficulty when I'm playing this game on the Steam version of the 3D version is just like tangling with the menu system, and it feels terrible. And if it didn't, it would be great. So.
Nice.
Anyway,
I think that's about it for that boss fight, though.
Yeah. So, so you beat her, and if you're not jumping, the party will tell you like, "Hey, you should probably have Kane jump. That's probably what you need to do here."
It's no use.
Yeah, but by the end of the fight, the tower starts collapsing, right? And everybody realizes.
Well, Barbaricia first says like, "Traitor, you may have bested me, but the last of the four remains."
That's true.
And then she beefs it. Not that you will ever leave this tower alive to meet him.
Yeah, and then
Cecil's immediately like, "Uh-oh, the tower's collapsing."
Right. And Sid's like, "Oh," everybody's like, "Oh, we can't make it back to the airship on time. The tower's collapsing. We're screwed." But Rosa knows the teleport spell, which I guess like is in universe. Like it works outside of battle. So she just teleports.
It's been real helpful
else.
in that hallway situation with Palamaporum.
Yeah,
which I'm pretty sure. I think Cecil might have been able to have that at that point too.
Yeah, Cecil really dropped the ball there.
I think Tella learned all the magic, so I think he knows it too.
So it might also, it's like Pokemon rules where you can only use it in like a cave or something.
Yeah, if Tella tried to use it while you're in the hallway.
Since it was in the Baron Castle, it wouldn't work.
Professor Oak would have come over the Whisper Weed and been like,
"Now's not the time for that." It's like, oh my god, dude, there's never been a better time.
Nothing happened.
Professor Oak loves when kids dies, though. Let's be real. Then he can have sex with their moms.
Time for you kids to leave.
But she warps us back to Cecil's bedroom in Baron, right?
Good thing we tore down those posters.
And Sid's like, "Oh yeah, we should be safe here now that the imposter king is gone." And then Kane gives us a big old lore dump, right?
Yeah.
Because like,
he's like, "Yo, there's something you need about these crystals." Like, yeah, he has all four of them. We're fucked, right?
Yeah. Cecil's just like, "Yeah, we're screwed now. We lost all of them." And
it's like, I mean, you did give him the last one, so you could have come up with a better plan.
Yeah, I know. We just had no plan.
What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, we're just like, yeah, that'd be fine.
I guess his plan was that we were going to kill him and everything was going to be fine. Maybe that was the plan, but.
But Kane tells us that actually there are not 4 crystals. There are 8 crystals. So Golbez only has half of them because there are dark crystals.
Hell yeah. Fucking David Bowie and all.
Dance, magic, dance.
Jump, magic, jump.
Yeah.
No, wait, Dark Crystal's not the one with
No,
fucking
that's
David
Labyrinth.
Bowie.
That's Labyrinth.
Oh, that's
I'm thinking
Labyrinth,
of.
that's right.
Same thing.
But still.
David Bowie's in every movie as far as I'm concerned.
But yeah, so he tells us that they are in, he says, the deep, dark bowels of the underworld.
Whoa.
And as far as everybody in our party is concerned, they're like, yo, we've never even heard of the underworld. Like, there is an underworld? That's incredible.
It's like Dark Web.
It's the series of movies from like 2001.
I keep getting confused with the Resident Evil movies.
Did I tell? Okay, hold on.
Underworld, hell yeah.
Very small aside. I'm sorry. I recently watched both the first Resident Evil movie and the first Underworld movie, right? And like me and my roommate both were like, Resident Evil cringy, Underworld cringy but good. And then we watched them, like we actually watched them back to back. Could not have been more wrong. Could not have been more wrong. Resident Evil holds up all right, actually. Like very artistic. Like it's like all the camera shots and everything are very well done. Like somebody clearly had a goal in mind and like was artistically motivated to make them, right? And this only counts for the first movie of both series, by the way. Watched Underworld, the most boring movie I've ever fucking seen in my life. And I was like, this sucks and I'm willing to do something else right now. And we got to the end of the movie and I was like, so who are we supposed to root for in that movie? Who was... Name one of the characters that we were supposed to like empathize with, and neither of us could do it. We're like, I don't know who the like was that good or sad. I don't know. Like you don't care about these people. Anyway, that movie sucks. So we're gonna head to the underworld and fight werewolves and vampires along the way.
Sid's like, how are we supposed to get there? Start digging?
Start digging.
No,
Kane
dig up, stupid.
Kane says that there is a key to get there, right? Like there's a way to get there. And he says that once we get to the dark world or the underworld, the way to the moon will appear, right? And so like, oh boy, we're going to the moon.
Hell yeah.
But when he mentions the key, he's like, this key right here, and he just happens to have the key.
One of these.
And so it's like Yang, where Yang's
Exactly.
like, yeah, if only we had the key to Baron. What's this? And so like Kane's like, yeah, there's some magical item that we need to be able to get to the underworld, which I happen to have right here. So we have the Magma Key now, and the mission to go to the underworld.
Oh, is it called the Magma Key in yours?
Yeah, in the original one, yeah.
It's called the
But in the
Magma Stone in ours.
Oh,
Yeah. The Megan Stone.
Megan Stone.
I don't know who that is.
But he says like we have to use it in a certain place, and that place will open the way to the underworld. But he doesn't know where that is.
Yeah.
And also, the party's like, well, now that's going to be a problem. We don't have the airship anymore. It was docked on the Tower of Zot. But luckily, Sid invented the Tesla if it was good and worked and didn't catch on fire for no fucking reason. And it can just drive itself to you. So he's like, yeah, no, I had the Enterprise drive here. It's fine. It's on the way right now.
He's like, yeah, that thing's got autopilot. It's probably here already.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we got onto the tower like the way we got to Bavel. We just kind of did a little
You
drive
did
by.
the Sonic Adventure 2 fucking grinding with soap shoes.
And then it just peeled off.
But yeah, so
I like this weird one like interaction where it's just like Kane's like, this is said to be the key, and then it says obtained magma stone, and then there's just one text box that says a stone. It says Cecil. Just like not even a question mark, just a stone.
I really like an interaction between Kane and Cecil where he's like, oh, I overheard Golbez about the crystals. Apparently, like, when we do all this, the path to the moon will open. And Cecil says, literally a path to the moon? And Kane's like, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. I just work here.
I just work here, yeah. But yeah, so now we have our next mission. We have the Enterprise back.
I immediately thought of that infamous line from Destiny when that first came out, when Peter Dinklage was the VO for that little Guilty Spark type thing, where he said that wizard came from the moon.
Oh shit, that applies so heavily here. It's incredible. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go around the world looking for a place to use the magma stone.
This hot stone.
Which I think, like, it's cool because, like I said earlier, the world map I feel like is smaller than the FF1 world map in some ways, but it kind of makes this a possible challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's feasible to fly around everywhere and look for where to use the magma stone, and like it's not very hard. Even if you don't know where to go and what to do, just do the things that seem right. Like be like, yeah, this seems right. Like this seems what to do, and like you're probably right. Like it's
There's a volcano or some shit.
not a volcano, but
there's dialogue around that will make it kind of obvious in a certain area. And I think the other thing too,
you want to go to a place where people talk about underground things.
I will say,
and then right in the center of their town is something like, hey, do you want to throw something important down here?
Yeah, and it's also the kind of thing too where it's a town that we probably haven't been to. Like on the show, we have not been there yet.
Right.
Which we're running very low on in this.
There's not many more
on
locations.
the world map. Yeah.
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 So I ended up just Googling it, and then I was like, oh wait, I found this place like when I first got the airship and was looking around, and like the dialogue was very much like, oh okay, so I need to do something here. And I was like, well, I completely forgot about that one thing of dialogue where they were very heavily implying this. So
right. But we'll get to that on the next episode of the Every F and FF podcast.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Cool. We're going to go find out where to stick that rock.
Yeah. Any announcements or anything?
Tomorrow is the last Mage Hand show.
It's true. Tomorrow will be the last one chance. So
hell yes. We'll see you there.
Yeah. And then it's gone.
I'm all practiced up, ready to go.
Fuck yeah.
I am still. I haven't done it this week, but I'm going to do it this week. But I'm. Did I say this last time? I don't remember. Anyway, I've basically turned my Twitch channel into beating like 100 classic JRPGs in chronological order. And I think I may have said that last time, but I am still doing that. So come hang out. We're going to be doing Dragon Quest II next.
Nice.
Which everybody who I've told this has just kind of laughed knowingly at me. Because I'll be like, all right, DQ2 next. And then people like comment on my Twitter and they're like, oh boy, you poor motherfucker. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. So we'll see.
For me, Speed Souls Charity Marathon is going to be coming up on November 5th through 7th. I will be doing something at some point during those dates. And I'll talk more about that when I can.
That's around when our the season should be wrapping up. So
oh, nice. Yeah.
You can focus all your energy on that. Well,
I definitely need to start focusing energy on that because it's something that if I am not practiced up, it's not just me letting myself down, it's letting down several other people. Yeah. If you're familiar with one of the seasons where Curtis was involved in something, it's very similar to that. I mean, I can probably just say it. I don't think it's a secret or anything, but I'm going to be doing Demon Souls Original for the relay that is going on at the Speed Souls Charity Marathon. So we are opening it up. It's going to be, well, I'll leave it at that.
Sure.
Show up.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to cast Meatier and kill us all?
Boy, do I. Thank you to Neither Round for the theme music. Always a bop. Thank you to Nobu Uematsu, Junie Nakano, and Kenichiro Fukui. I don't know if there's any special music this episode. The sad music whenever someone dies is always a bummer.
That banging ass boss music that we get to hear multiple times.
It's always good.
So good.
Leave us a review on iTunes. Always appreciated. Leave us a message at 530 Meatier.
Leave us a message. Tell us how many of the like movie references we got wrong this time.
You can find us at every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, and join our Discord, which has been always a fun time to hang out. It's not overwhelming. It's an easy Discord to hang out in because there's not a super group of people yet. So get on the ground floor.
Hey, you know what? Everybody in there comprises a super group to me.
I agree. Our Discord is a super group.
It's a super group.
Yeah, it's a super
But yeah, group. I mean, it's not super active where your things are constantly blowing up and stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to feel like, oh, geez, how do I... I feel like I join Discords which are like so full that I just can't like really feel
like I don't know how
to...
Yeah, I don't know how to enter this conversation.
Yo, let me tell you how to break the ice. I'm going to give you all the trick of how to break the ice in any Discord, okay?
Here's some speed strats.
Yeah, here's some speed strats for
Discord.
For making friends in Discord. This is what I do every time, and it has not failed yet. You go into their general channel or whatever, and just post a picture of you doing something heinous with food. So I'll go in there and be like, post a picture of an orange that I've bitten through the rind on and be like, does anybody know why this tastes bad when everybody says orange tastes good? And you'll make plenty of friends that way. Real easy.
But yeah. Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I podcast on company time.
All right, goodbye.